Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the History Club channel. I'm Mr. McGee. Today's episode is actually going to be really short because I'm going to add one more piece of information about Joseph Stalin that I think is very important for us to understand what life was like in the Soviet Union and also to understand Stalin's mindset. We know that Stalin had many of the party leaders throughout Russia murdered, especially in the different purges that happened throughout his reign. But here's a question for us. What happened to the records of those officials that were murdered? In other words, those officials at one time were in good standing with the Communist Party. They were officials of high rank. They would have had their picture in different papers. They would have been hailed as heroes by Stalin. But then, once he murdered them in the purges, what happened to those records? Well, for Stalin, it wasn't good enough just to murder these party officials and party leaders. He tried to erase every record of their existence. Stalin had history books rewritten so that a party official who was mentioned in a positive light in the history book, he would have that history book rewritten so that either that party official who was now murdered was taken out of the history book altogether, or else he would have it changed so that they were now an enemy of the Soviet Union instead of an ally and a hero. He would even have photographs changed so that prominent party officials who were pictured, say, with Lenin or pictured in maybe a group of party officials, he would have those photos changed so that the person who was now murdered was taken out of the photo as if they never existed. Take, for instance, this picture. Now, you will notice Leon Trotsky and a man named Lev Kamenev. Now, Trotsky we've already talked about. We know that Trotsky was Stalin's rival after Lenin's death. Lev Kamenev actually partnered and allied himself with Joseph Stalin to get rid of Leon Trotsky. And ironically enough, having done that, Stalin then turned on him and Kamenev was purged in the purges of 1936. So you see those two men with Lenin. Well, take a look at the photo now. Stalin had the pictures of Trotsky and Kamenev removed so that there was no association between them and Lenin, Vladimir Lenin, the hero of the Soviet Union, who put together the Soviet Union and stands for communism. He has the photograph changed so that there's no connection between the hero, Lenin, and Trotsky and Kamenev. Now you have to think about it. There's no Photoshop software. There's no Adobe Premiere Pro, anything like that. It's painstaking to take photographs, cut people out of them. I mean, not literally cut, but actually change the photograph so that their picture is removed and the photograph now looks as if they never existed. That's painstaking work, and yet Stalin was willing to do that to try to remove any record of these people's existence and any record that they were ever involved with Lenin, the communist movement, or Stalin himself. Take a look at this next photo and you see the exact same thing. There's Trotsky and there's Lev Kamenev, and now, ta-da, they're gone. Now take a look at this photo. On the right is a man named Nikolai Yezhov. Nikolai Yezhov is head of the NKVD. By the way, that's just the new name for the secret police. The ones that started with Lenin, we called them the Cheka. Now they're the NKVD. He is the head of the secret police of the Soviet Union. And he's head from about 1936 until 1938, when Stalin, ironically enough, has him arrested as a traitor to the Soviet Union and has him executed. So there's the photo of Yezhov, the right-hand man responsible for arresting and murdering lots of people himself. And ta-da! Now Yezhov has disappeared. Now I could give you a lot more evidence, but I figure one more photograph will do. This man here is Abel Yenukidze. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. There he is, part of the leadership, and now gone. Just like that. So it doesn't matter if you are way over in Central Asia as part of the Soviet Union or deep in the heart of Moscow. It is the same thing. once you cross Stalin, once you cross the leadership of the Soviet Union, you are disappeared. You are completely eradicated, not just in body, but also from the memories of the people and from the records themselves. Now, if you want an idea of this mindset and a really good analysis of this mindset, read the book 1984 by George Orwell. I know, this feels like this channel is becoming a booktube, but these books are worth reading. Now, warning, there are multiple scenes where the main characters are sleeping with each other. There's nothing graphic about it, but I do want to put that out there before you just throw your 10-year-old on a couch with 1984 and have them read it. But it is a great fictional story written in 1949 that presupposes a world that is split into 3 countries, and those countries are run by dictatorial communist governments. But the main character's job as part of this government is to change records. When someone gets executed, he takes the photograph and changes it or edits a certain newspaper that mentioned the person in a positive light, and then takes the original and throws it down the memory hole, which is just an incinerator. The entire point of 1984, and by the way, there's a reason why 1984 is read today, is to show you a government that controls not just people's actions, but tries to control their thoughts. All right, so think Newspeak. I won't go into Newspeak, but it's part of 1984 and the controlling of language and the controlling of words. It's a really great book if you want to delve into the Soviet Union and the mindset of someone who wants to control the very history of the country itself. So hopefully in this little short video that we have talking about Stalin's mindset in terms of purging people from the records, hopefully you understand why people are so concerned about cancel culture today. Cancel culture and people's concern about cancel culture is not because, oh, I have this political view and you have this political view, so I don't like cancel culture. Or I like this political party and you like this other political party, so I'm worried about cancel culture. The worry about cancel culture isn't because of supporting a particular political party or a certain person. The worry about cancel culture is the mindset of the person. The mindset that says, if you disagree with me, or you say something I don't like, or you're on this side of the political aisle, I have the right to destroy you. Even if it's not like Stalin's purges where you're being bodily destroyed, I have the right to destroy you in terms of your reputation, your job security, and on top of that, I will have you removed from every social media platform so that nobody can hear your thoughts, nobody can hear your ideas. You are banned from the public square. In essence, I'm going to cancel you so that nobody can hear from you or associate your ideas with anything that I would disapprove of. The worry is that mindset is the same mindset that we saw 70 years ago, 70 plus years ago, I should say, in the Soviet Union. I hope you enjoyed today's short episode. We will be back soon. Again, moving things are up in the air, so hopefully we'll be back in a week and a half, 2 weeks. I might still be in this location. We'll just see. And we will talk about Stalin on the foreign policy front because of World War II. If you have any questions, please leave them respectfully and politely in the description box below. I'm Mr. McGee. Take care.